Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome indeed to Thursday Night Live. Yes, indeed, Thursday Night Live. And over the space of the next hour, we are going to wave away Thursday and we are going to welcome in Friday, Poets Day. Piss off early, tomorrow's Saturday. So that's something to look forward to, isn't it? What else have we got to look forward to? Well, we've got a hedgehog of truth with his companion. We have got Sean's box that's going to get a good pounding. We've got the community portable electric telephonic device upon which you can, should you so desire, leave a voice note, and I hope you do. And of course, we've got all of you wonderful lot, the bugs, my dear, dear friends. And I'm just so excited to spend this next hour with you. Now then, I just need to check something because I can't remember if I've given away any channel memberships this month. So let's have a look. There's a possibility that I might give some away. Let's have a look. See. Let's jump onto the old doings and let's have a look at the Howdy Fathers. Ah, right. Yes. Now then, darlings. And we've got our first voice note of the evening. What a wonderful start. My God, this is going well, isn't it? Better than expected, I would say. The candle needs moving just very, very slightly. Yeah, I am going to give away memberships tonight, darlings. I am going to give away no fewer than 10 channel memberships. So make sure that you have got your gift acceptance thingamy ticked to on. And you don't need to be seeing my freshly laundered handkerchief drying there, do you? I'll put it there out of sight. Some things, darlings, some things should be kept secret. Well, not secret. We acknowledge that they exist, but they should be a little bit more private. Now, I am going to see who we've got with us. Then I'm going to have quite frankly, goodly slurp of my wine, which I've earned tonight and which I'm looking forward to very much. And then we'll properly get into the doing. So with us tonight we have first cab off the rank, Jimmy Quinn, followed by Stu. We've got Peter P. We've got Steve Cole, the lovely Mark Passad. Um, bu- bu- bum. Andrew Buttigieg, the fabulous Ivor Spotty Butty. Simone, Hooked on Classics, wonderful. Anybody? Oh, Richard, Paulie Galtieri, marvelous. Um, stand up and greet the headmistress, Diane Sturdy. Good evening to you. Skick is here. Skick is here. Just been watching Eubank and Ben. Not a big fan of Eubank, but would like to see him beat Ben. Ah, when is that? When is that? Is it tomorrow night? Who else have we got? Who else have we got? Yes. Oh, Bad Books is here. The lovely Mark. Um, Shelley Denise, the fabulous Shelley, is with us. Hello to you. And is that oh, hello, defecating proctogram. Now I actually know who that is. Oh, defecating right, you're in right, yes, that's why you're blue, isn't it? That's why you're blue. Right, good evening, Emma. Anybody else? Anybody else? Midwest Mimi, hello. Oh, always a joy to see you. Wild Camping Scotland, hello. Camping, Boaty needs some lessons, says Stu. Oddly enough, I was receiving some today because I am looking to buy some camping equipment. And a friend of mine who does quite a lot of tenting was advising me on what I should buy because I want to have I plan to do some tenting this year. How much, I don't know, but I would like to have a basic tenting setup in my big box of doings so that whenever I wish to do a bit of tenting, I've got the gear to do it. And I guarantee, because I promised you last year, it didn't happen, did it? I promise you I'll put myself right out of my comfort zone and I will do at least one. But then if I like it, I might well do some more. You never know. Have we got anybody else? I mean, Trisha Alderman, no, possibly with Paul. Hello, my lovely. What's the limit on giving memberships out, asked Eagle? Well, the limit for me is 10 per month. The limit for you lot, there isn't one. You can give us as few or as many as you wish to. Batman Rubin is with us. A jolly good evening to you. What a fantastic bunch we've got today. Simone has popped a voice note onto the old doings. I'm looking forward to that. Emma's here, the Emma Lemon of the YouTube channel, Emma Lemon, the eponymous YouTube channel. Evening all, I'm here, but I'm not feeling very well, so might not chat much, but hello. I'm not feeling very well either, but I'm not feeling quite as not very well as I have been over the last couple of days. Tenting from Tooting, says Simone. Steve McDonald is with us. Good evening, Boaty. Good evening, Steve. Right, I tell you what, that's close enough to greeting everybody. I think I'm going to have a goodly slurp of my wine, and then we will properly get into your comments, which are, and I make no secret of this, the meat and vegetables of this bowl of cornflakes in which we are all swimming around, clinging to the breakfast spoon for the very dearest of life. So, cheers, my darlings, your very good health. Bottoms up yours, and above all, and I mean this with kindness and love, get stuffed. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's not going to do any harm at all. Oh, down it goes. Down it goes. Oh, hitting the bread basket now. Oh, oh, it's feeling cheeky tonight. Oh, oh, oh. Right, excellent. I am poised and ready to go now, darlings. I am keen as mustard, keen as mustard to get on with the rest of this. Now then, obviously, I would love to know what sort of day you've had. I would love to know what you've been eating, if you've had any enjoyable or weird dreams lately. I'd like to hear about those. Have you poked a stranger with an unusual object? Have you had Have you had a naughty fantasy about somebody that you never thought you would have a naughty fantasy about? Anything you would like to tell me, I am all ears, darling. Oh, God. I and my malfunctioning digestive system, we're all ears. We're just here for you. And we're going to start with some food news with good old Mark. Yes, it is Mark. Bad Books is Mark. Oh God! It's when Black Lines comes in as well to confuse me. And now I've forgotten what his actual name bloody well is. Oh God! We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Breakfast, says Mark, was a banana. Dinner, he means lunch. He's from the north. Uh, Dinner was chicken sarnie, and tea, again from the north. He means dinner, but we understand what he means. Tea was tuna jacket potato and broccoli, French beans, leek, and sugar snap peas. Well, that all sounds rather fabulous. Midwest Mimi says, Boaty, you didn't commit to being gay on March the 1st. You're right, Midwest, I didn't. Only to going gay. You're wrong. I didn't commit to going gay. Right, I've got news on this whole March the 1st business, darlings. I've got to say a big thank you to the Honourable Peter P. Pardon me for blowing my hooter in your lovely company. Unforgivable, I know. So procure a deep plummy purple suit shirt, which is going to look fab on you. Boom. Appear gayish, but chase skirts at will. I will chase skirts at will because Peter P tracked down the moment that this all happened, and I watched it earlier today. So now I know. I'm no longer guessing. And what happened was Ben of Exploring with Ben and Sam had been nagging me about his gaydar and trying to convince me that I'm actually gay, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? I think you're talking me into it. If I haven't got a girlfriend by, let's say, the 1st of March, I'll give it a go. And then the very next thing I said was, obviously, I'm joking. Right? So there was no commitment whatsoever to being any level of gay, to going gay, to being gay, to being theoretically gay, to doing any kind of active gaying. No commitment whatsoever. So there you go, darlings. Unlucky, but didn't happen. Didn't happen. I mean, well done on convincing me that it did happen for the last however long, 2 or 3 months or whatever it is, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I've seen it. The evidence is there. Peter P found it. You can look for yourself on the live stream. There was no commitment whatsoever to whoopsing myself up. So there you go. Stu had pancakes with lemon and sugar. What meal he had them for, he doesn't specify, so we'll use our imagination. Tomorrow is my last day on Facebook, says Simone. I bet you it isn't. I bet you it isn't, but if that's what you want to do, good for you. I hope if you want to do it, I hope you carry it through. Mark, the lovely Mark Passad, made a chicken stew topped with crispy potatoes for supper, and that sounds fabulous. That does sound fabulous, actually. Steers off for a P. Richard, for dinner tonight, he had lamb chops with leeks and new potatoes and chantenay carrots. Now, Mark Passad is quite rightly appalled. He has pointed out that there are 43 people in the chat, but only 12, a mere paltry 12, have tickled that all-important like button. And we would all love it if a few more of you could do it. Simone had macaroni cheese with sausages and apple strudel with ice cream for afters. Andrew Buttigieg says, Boaty, some of the new members of the inner scrotum were wondering why several of your exes have nicknames and what are their real names. Yeah, I saw the post in Facebook, darlings. I didn't comment on it because, well, you were having plenty of fun on your own without me butting in. But yeah, I am more than happy to go there and address. Now, the post in question was effectively, I can't remember the exact wording, but the post was, why is Bernard called Bernard? And I think it was Shelley asking that. And I'm very happy to answer it. And I'm very happy to expand on other names of other previously enjoyed friends. And I'm also happy to address some of the allegations in that Facebook post. I can't remember all of them, but my friend Steve, who is Ollie Owls on YouTube, said something like, I've been online friends with Boaty for many years, which we have. We've been online friends for 24 years now. Yeah. And he says, I don't know the answer. He's had too many to keep up. And then Emma mentioned something about my 2,000 previous partners and 23 previous fiancés. And I'm not sure that either of those numbers are entirely correct, but I am happy to discuss it. You know me, darlings. My life is an open book, or book, if you come from the kind of place where you say book and hook and luke instead of book and hook and look. And I support you. I support you for doing that. I would even encourage it. So I'll quickly whiz through this. Should we do that now? Or I'll just have a quick whiz through the comments and then I will answer those questions. So if anybody wants to add to those questions, then do so and I'll answer them all at the same time. Steve Colga's eating a ham and egg salad sandwich with apple cream turnover that he bought from Greg's. Certainly not a John Inman level of gay, says Richard. Well, indeed not. Indeed not. Simone is buying a flamingo willow for her garden on Saturday. That's good. Woodstock joins us. Hello to you. Oh, right. And we have March the 1st, only a joke, makes no sense, so unacceptable. Excuse and refusal and crack on with March the 1st. It's not. It does make sense. It's there. That's what I said. I said something and then I immediately clarified that it was a joke. So that's that. That is that. Right. Okay, then, to answer those questions. Why is Bernard called Bernard? Okay. Bernard and I met on an old school dating app or dating website. Might have been a website back then, might have been an app. I honestly can't remember. Neither can I remember what it's called or what it was called. And it was one of those old school ones where you have a username. You choose a username. So we both had a username. And at that point, Bernard was a very private person. She didn't really do social media. And for now, she did tell me the reasons why. I can't share that with you, but she kept herself very private. So in the early stages of our dating, she didn't tell me what her real name was. Well, actually, during up to quite advanced parts of our dating, she didn't tell me what her real name was. And I said, "Well, look, if you're not going to tell me your real name, I'm going to call you Bernard." And she said, "Fine, call me Bernard." So that's it. From then on, she's been Bernard. Why I picked the name Bernard, there was no particular reason. It was just a name that sprang to mind. Bernard is Bernard has been a default name for had been a default name for several things before. It's a name that I like very much. I liked Bernard in Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister. But that is the story of why Bernard is called Bernard. And I'll actually tell you how I found out what her real name was. So I don't think she knows this, and she might watch it. She thinks that I found out her real name at a certain point, but I didn't. I found it out before. And yeah, so oh God, I can't tell you that. Oh dear. We went for a meal after in the local pub here after we'd been exercising, and she paid for the meal very kindly, and I saw her name on her debit card when she paid, so I knew what her name was before she thought I knew what her name was. It's no big secret now. You all know what her name is. Her YouTube thing is her actual name. But yeah, that's the story of why Bernard was called Bernard. She had a good reason to keep privacy in the early stages of dating, when you're an unknown quantity to each other. A very good reason. And it was true as well. I checked it out. And I said, look, if you're not going to tell me what your name is, I'm going to call you Bernard. And she said, fine, call me Bernard. And that's it. She's been Bernard ever since. Now, what else was in that question? Oh yeah, other exes and names. Right. Well, there was a period, quite a long period, where I was quite a prolific dater. in that I would have a date pretty much every night of the week. And there's a period in dating where you are not yet exclusive, or at least I think there is, and I think most normal people think there is. You don't normally, I mean, in this mad modern day and age, people start talking to each other online and they think they're in an exclusive relationship. I think that is absolute nonsense. If you were dating like I dated and like quite a few people date, then it's a numbers game, isn't it? And you arrange dates as often or as frequently as you want to arrange them. I used to do it every night. And, some of them it was clear you were never going to see each other again. Some of them you think, well, yeah, I'll have another date with you. But when you've got somebody that nothing's happened and you're going to have another date with them, you might have other people that you're going to have another date with. So you'll be in a situation for a period of time where you're dating the same people. I'm going to explain this. So, like, you might be having a second, third, fourth, fifth date with many people, not well, with more than one person at the same time. And then at some point, you will decide, yeah, this is more than just casual dating. We're now exclusive. We'll see where we go. We're not going to see other people. That's how I understand that it works. Now, there will be the odd date where it's so amazing. There'll be the odd first date that's so amazing that you think, boom, that's it. I'm not looking anywhere else until I've seen this through. And I've had a few of those. Uh, Lisa, for example, I fell head over heels in love with Lisa um, about a third of the way through dinner on our first date. The artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty. That was another thunderbolt moment where, boom, yeah, this is the one. Not looking anywhere else. Boom, Boo's another example of that. And, that does happen. But often when you're dating, you will be going through the scenarios that I just outlined. So I would find that I was often dating girls or ladies with the same name, and that can get confusing. So I went through it. So what I used to do is I used to call them where they were from because I would never date two women from the same place. That could get awkward. So, and you older members of the old inner scrotum, I know you've heard all of this before, but yeah, I used to call them where they were from. So that's why Cheltenham is called Cheltenham. That's why Newcastle is called Newcastle. That's why Swansea is called Swansea, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So if you hear me talk about refer to people with names like that, then that's why. It's because I started out dating them. They had the same name as somebody else that I was dating, so they got called by where they were from. So instead of having, well, for example, instead of having Tracy and Tracy, you have Swansea and Milton Keynes, and instead of having, give you a real example, Karen and Karen, you have Birmingham and Newcastle, and then you know where you're batting from. But if things progress and you get into a long-term relationship, so, or even if you just get into a long-term, lifelong friendship, sometimes those names will stick. So Cheltenham, who became one of my very dearest friends and my business partner and my vocal partner, and we're friends to this day. Cheltenham has always been Chelts. Cheltenham became Chelts, and I still think of her as Chelts. It's some people might say that's disrespectful, but and maybe it is, but there you go. So that was the story. So that's the story of those names. If you hear me talk about Newcastle or Cheltenham or whatever, then That's who it is. If you've watched my wedding video, which is online, should you wish to have a look at it for whatever reason, then on my wedding video, who've you got? On my wedding video, you will see Cheltenham, you will see Newcastle, you will see the REM, the remorseless eating machine, you will see Bum Bums, and so on and so forth. Right, other names that I might have mentioned. Boo, I talk about Boo, obviously. Boo was called Boo because she was really very beautiful indeed, really very beautiful. And if you are from South Wales, which I am, and you will all know this if you watch my Shawnee, the lovely Sean James Cameron, then in the valleys of South Wales, beautiful is pronounced beautiful. And Richard Burton's pet name for Elizabeth Taylor was Boo. And that all came together, and that's why Boo was called Boo. She was incredibly beautiful. I thought that we had a Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor kind of relationship, and Boo became Boo before I even met her. I started calling Boo Boo. She was Boo from quite early on. She didn't like it at first, and then she asked me why, and I told her, and then she loved being Boo. She was very happy to be Boo. And again, to this day, I think of her as Boo. Her real name is Lindsay. Um, but yeah, she became Boo, and we were hashtag Boaty and Boo. Because she was into all of that kind of thing, the social media, the Instagram, all of that. So yeah, we trended for a while, hashtag Boaty and Boo when we were dating, because that was kind of in the very heyday of the singles group, which obviously I ran the singles network. We went on to run it together, and it was like the love story of the year. So we had literally tens of thousands of people following us, um, to see where we went. Our first date was a group meetup. So our first date, we weren't on our own. We were surrounded by people from the singles network, and we did everything kind of, well, not everything, but we did a lot of stuff really quite publicly, and yeah, a lot of people followed. And when I proposed to Boo, I proposed on her I proposed on her 40th birthday, but I didn't. Was it her 40th? I think it was. Um, or was it a 30 something? Well, it was on her birthday anyway. Didn't think she was that old. How old is Boo? She looks bloody good for her age anyway. She's younger than me, obviously. Um, so when I proposed, I didn't propose in person. I proposed in the group, because I thought that everybody else deserved to share it because they'd all been part of the story. And by then, Boo was running singles with me and all of that. So yeah, there you go. That's why Boo was Boo. Who else? I don't know how far back you want me to go. I don't know which ones you know about. Chinese Madam. That came from work. They called her Madam because they couldn't pronounce her real name, which is, a very Chinese name. Um, so she became Madam, and then when that ended and other madams came along, she became Chinese Madam, because they at work they struggle with names. So if any girlfriend that I've had, they have called Madam, and then they get so. Um, if I get a girlfriend, then she would be New Madam for them. And then when that became a settled thing, she would just be madam. And then if it ended, she would be something madam to differentiate her from any of the other madams. So yeah, Chinese mad. That's why Chinese madam was Chinese madam. That's about it, isn't it? Oh, and to address Emma's, I don't. Um, the 2000 number, I don't keep count. I never did. Uh, and the 23 fiancés, I don't think I've had 23 fiancés. I don't know how many I've had. Do you want me to count them? Fiancés. Donna, Sasha. It's not going to be anything like 23. Donna, Sasha. Oh God. Layun, Lingli, Lena, Lisa, the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty, and Boo. That's it. How many was that? 8, something like that. Hardly any at all, considering how old I am. Right, let's get back to your comments. Right, what are we talking about? Stu's done the joke for the 3rd time. Don't forget to include the bit about the dead wasp, otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot. It wasn't a dead wasp, it was a very much a live bee. When I was separated from the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty, who was Bum Bums, by the way, if you were wondering, and I was living alone in the cottage in Wales, a bee came to live with me and I called him Bernard. And we lived together very happily for about a week to 10 days. And then sadly he passed away where he lived. But yeah, he was called Bernard. So it wasn't a dead wasp, it was an alive bee, which became a dead bee. Wasn't it a dead bee, says Diane Sturdy? Well, it was eventually, but it was an alive bee. He definitely did say that it was connected to a dead wasp or bee or something. I didn't, Emma. I didn't say it was connected. It's just Bernard is my default name. If I need to name something, my default name for it was Bernard. So there were lots of things called Bernard until Bernard came along, and then, nothing else has been called Bernard after Bernard. But there were many things called Bernard before. So it wasn't connected to the dead bee as such, but the dead bee was called Bernard. No, I never liked Bernard Matthews turkey burgers. Absolutely, Emma. It was dying, and he kept it in the porch. It wasn't. It it wasn't dying to begin with. It was alive and happy. It flew into the porch one day. I gave it things to eat and drink, and then for a period of a week or 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever it was, that was where he lived. I left the window open for him. He went out. He did his bee things and he would come back to the porch to sleep or to rest or to eat or to drink. It was his home. And then, yeah, I don't know what the lifespan of a bee is, but there came a point where he came home. Thank God he came home. I wouldn't have wanted him to die somewhere strange. He came home and he didn't look his normal self. And I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I'd lost him. So, I shed some tears and I buried him in the garden and we had a little service. And yeah, that's right, Richard. Yes, that was the bumblebee I saved. I knew I wasn't going mad, says Emma. Now watch him completely deny it. I won't deny it at all. I'm dating myself, says Emma. Never been happier. Well, there you are. Why not shop at the old self-service aisle? Hmm. Also a Bernard Cribbins, hence his love of Jack and Ori stories. Oh, who doesn't love Bernard Cribbins? Good Lord, says Mark. Where did you find the energy? For what? Dating? I don't know. I mean, he didn't have the body of a racing snake for nothing, Mark, says Andrew. I never dated more than one person, says Simone. Depends how you define dating. If you define dating in the seeing each other sense where you're kissing and podgering and doing all of that sort of thing, then no, you don't do that with more than one person. But in the very early stages where you are literally going on a first date and a second date, then unless you've leapt on each other on the first or second date, then if you're still doing the exploratory thing, then of course you're going to be dating more than one. Uh, good to be here, says Josh, and it's great to have you. He shagged Tracy. Yeah, different Tracy, Emma. Was Cheltenham a horse? No, Cheltenham was and is a lovely lady called Mel. Good Lord. I come in to discover I shagged Boaty, says Matron. Different Tracy. Do you see what I mean? This is exactly why Tracy was called Swansea. And the other Tracys were called, God, I can't remember them. I think there was a Leicester. There was a Leicester Tracy. I think there was a Nottingham. Who was the one from the castle? And who was the one who was sick when I did? Oh no, don't tell them that. But you see, that's the point. Names get confusing. That's why. That's why they got. He shagged the whole wedding party. No, I had some previous girlfriends at my wedding. That's all. Had a lot more at the reception. There were a lot at the reception. There were only a couple at the wedding. There were loads at the reception. That's why Boaty drove a Jag. Didn't Bernard Matthews used to say beautiful? Yeah, but that was oh, Peter P. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. And it wasn't. It wasn't right. No. Okay. Right. It wasn't three generations, and it wasn't in one day. It was two generations. There were three people, admittedly, but it was two generations. If you remember the full story, Peter P, then when I went to look at the third generation, I thought, no, I can't do that. So it was just mother and daughters. And technically, it wasn't in one day. I mean, it was within 24 hours, I'll give you that. But technically, it was 2 different days because well, actually, it might not have been. It might have been the same day. I mean, it was a night and an afternoon. But if the night happened after midnight and it was New Year's Eve, and we wouldn't have gone to bed until after midnight. So it was a New Year's Eve party. So I take that back. It was the same day. God, you've got a better memory than my ex-wife, Peter P, and she remembers every bad thing I've ever done in my life. Anyway, good evening, matron. Oh, and Shelley is here, and thanks, Andrew, for asking me. Ham and egg sandwiches, Steakhold, says Woodstock. I fancy them now. I'm eating Heinz tomato soup and 3 small slices of bread and butter. Bad books, I can't. Oh dear. I'm not reading that out. To be honest, Boaty, says Mark, I think you are an incorrigible romantic in a world where very few exist. So I absolutely am, and I certainly became one. Yeah, I had. I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. Yeah, I had some years where things were a bit wild. I had social standing, I had money, I had looks, I I had flash cars, and I guess I scratched my inferiority complex, is basically. But deep down, I only ever had a dream of finding my forever ever and having a Teddy and June type relationship, or Tom and Barbara Good. And that's what I always wanted. And yeah, I've been engaged a few times, but when I fall in love, I fall in love very, very deeply and wholeheartedly, and I give it absolutely everything. And I love being in love. So, and because when I'm in love, I do give it absolutely everything, then if it fails, then I don't feel any guilt or regret as such. Well, I don't. I know that I've given it everything. I know that I've done my very best to make it work. And if it doesn't work, then and somebody else happens to come along, then I kind of sorry, I'm just putting some Vaseline on my nose because it's a bit sore. Then I don't feel any and if I genuinely fall in love with somebody again, um, then I don't feel any compunction in going for it again. I mean, things are different now. I mean, I'm an old man. Nobody's going to look at me twice anymore, and let's face it, those days are probably gone. But uh, but yeah, the it just kind of petered down. I After I was actually married and had the long term marriage thing, I wasn't sure that there would be anybody after the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty. And I was genuinely surprised when Boo came along. I mean, I wasn't surprised that she came along, but I'm surprised that I fell for her so hard. And any fears or whatnot went out of the window. There was never any question that I was going to go for it. And Boo and I had the most amazing time. I mean, that's one that I do regret because it didn't end because of me or her or us. It ended because of something else that was neither of our faults. So that's one that I do regret. I honestly thought that me and Boo were I thought we were going to be together forever. I really, genuinely did. I thought the same with the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty. And I thought the same with Lisa. And so when you've had, so yeah, after that, then I think you kind of look at things differently. And I think that after Lisa, I'm trying to think, I think that after Lisa, I don't think I was expecting to have another engagement or another relationship of that type. Yeah, I had girlfriends. Um, uh, I would have girlfriends, but they were exclusive relationships, but they were, how can I describe it? They were the kind of a relationship where you kind of both knew that it was, yeah, we're together at the moment, having a great time, but you're not going to be you're probably not going to be the one that I grow old with. Um, so yeah, there were relationships like that after lease, and I died because the lease thing killed me so much. I didn't think that I would go there with anybody again. And I wasn't an old man then. I mean, Lisa and I split up when I was, what would I have been? 32, 33. So I wasn't an old guy. Um, but yeah, that was so. I didn't think I'd ever go there again, not after Lisa. Um, so it was in my 20s when all of the action happened, really, and very, very early 30s. Lisa came along, that was a game changer. That was the one where I just properly fell so deeply head over. And yeah, after that, I thought, probably not going to go there again. Well, I thought I wouldn't find somebody that I felt like that about again. And B, I thought even if I did find somebody, I would think, don't go there because you know how much it hurts if it doesn't work out. But then the artist, formerly known as Mrs. Boaty, came along, and yeah, uh, I might have, well, you know, I went there, and yeah, we got married, and that was wonderful. So after the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty, there was no way I was going to go there again. So yeah, Boo came totally kind of out of the blue and kind of by surprise. But after Boo, then that was kind of the absolute full stop. And yeah, after Boo, there wasn't going to happen again. Absolutely wasn't going to happen again. Yeah, I know Chinese Madam came along. You know, that was all her doing, um, and that brings us up to date, really, doesn't it? And where am I now? Well, it's only theoretical, isn't it? It's only theoretical, but um, well, I did a video about this, didn't I? I did a video about this and the kind of relationship that I would like now. I am. I'm still more than capable. It turns out. Didn't think I was, but I'm still capable of falling. Um, I might, but I would probably be a bit more measured about the actual logistics and reality of it, because, but emotionally, it would still be a possibility. Yeah. Considering he was in relationships with fiancées for quite a lot of his adult life, he must have really squeezed those 2000s in. I'm not that. Don't get hung up on the 2000. I didn't. Oh, look, when I right, I don't keep count. I didn't keep count. It's a guess. Well, I don't. Well, I don't know. It would be a guess if I were to guess. But there were years in my twenties. There were yeah there. Well, anyway, thanks for explaining, Boaty. You're more than welcome, Shelley. I saw Bernard's bum cheeks. I remember that video. That was funny. So the bee was doing fine until Boaty started to take care of him. So anyway, says Gig, are you getting a tent or a late night trip to the cemetery? That would be good. Both. Happy to do both. Oh, thank you, Mark. A lovely super chat from Mark. Looking forward to the membership gifting. God, time's marched on, hasn't it? Bloody hell. Right, I tell you what, let's do Simone's voice note. I had no idea at the time. God, I've banged on, haven't I? Here we go, darlings. The next voice that you hear will be Simone.
Hello again, Mr. Boaty.
Hello.
Don't forget the puncture box, as if you're up to your balls in quicksand. And Eddie offered to give you a hand, but he couldn't because he doesn't have hands, and you got your balls wet.
Well done, Simone. Right, let's pound this box, shall we? 1 box, £1, 1 pounding. 3, 2, 1, boom. Right, what we're going to do now. Oh no, I better. Right, I'll whisk through the comments and then we'll gift them memberships. Oh, hello, Mustard. Dear old Project Nigel is here. Bless you for looking after that little bee. He was my friend. He was my friend. I wonder how many boaties there are, says Mustard. One's more than enough, says Emma. Oh, God, do you have to remember everything? Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Yeah, Jason Donovan does seem to be like a nice chap. Oh, well done, Mustard. When I sit next to Boaty, I am adjacent. Too clever for this chat, indeed. Jason Momoa's too jacked to be real. God. Oh, dear. Right, okay. Right, get ready, darlings. I'm going to gift some memberships. Are you ready? Good luck to all of you. I'm sorry, but I know I shouldn't have favourites, but fingers crossed for Andrew. You all know why. Right, here we go, darlings. 5 memberships about to be gifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. And they go to Alex's Assets, Goblin King, Otter MG, Lee John, and Mike Hockburns. Excellent. Congratulations to you 5. Right, let's go straight on. Let's do another 5, shall we? Here we go. Get ready. Make sure that you've got your gifting thing on. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. And these 5 are going to Andrew, Leven, Dave Atter, Adam 24, Simone Neumann, and that's it. Sorry, Andrew. I did try. But so our 10 most recent channel members are Alex's Assets, Goblin King, Otter MG, Lee Jean, Mike Hockburns, Lee Ven, 1, 2, 3, 4, Dave Atter, Adam 24, and Simone Neumann. I'm sorry, Richard. I'm sorry, Andrew. If I could just directly give them to you, I would. I absolutely would. Unfortunately, I can't. Oh well, there we are. Oh, gutted. Right. It's almost time to say goodnight, darling. So, what would you like to talk about for the last 5 minutes? You don't get this on Hub and Up. No, you don't, do you? Welcome to all the new members, says Mark. I did try, Andrew. What am I going to have for supper? I can't read that out. Is there anything that any of you would like to talk about quickly before we go? Any questions? Anything you'd like to ask? Anything you'd like to say? Anything? Go mad. You've got a few minutes where you can do anything that you like, really. Well, I think about what to have for supper. What I've been planning is lunch tomorrow. If I won't say anything in case it doesn't happen, but I've got plans for tomorrow and for Saturday and for days thereafter. I had plans for today as well, but my God, did they go tits up. I had a horrendous day today. Filmed the beginning of it, stopped filming it, and I'm not even going to talk about it because it was. In a perfect world, what would you be doing? What, at this moment or generally? Or. Oh, hello. Oh, it's a voice note. And the next voice that you hear will be from the Leisure Peninsula.
Reverend Bunker! 1 day to go. Mr. Gay.
No, we've dealt with that.
Thank you for tonight, sir.
You're welcome. In an ideal world, what would I be doing? He'd be doing Alanis. Right, I'll give you an honest answer to that. In an ideal world, I would be doing exactly what I'm doing now, except that the Sherpa's Lodge would be opening on Saturday, 1st of March. Honestly, if you I mean, I'd like there to be peace around the world. I'd like that, wherever there is warfare, I would like there to be peace. Wherever there is famine, I would like there to be food. Wherever there is extreme poverty, I would like there to be a reasonable level of, all of the things that anybody with an element of humanity would like. On a personal level, that's the only thing that I would change. I would like one of the Airbnbs to be up and running. Other than that, my life at the moment is kind of perfect, which might sound odd, but that's the truth of it. It's been an amazing year so far. It really has. And I've kind of the only thing that's missing is a little bit of money. Money is still tight, and a little bit of business challenge. And that's what I need with the Airbnbs. They will scratch my business itch, my need to be an entrepreneur, to be a creator, to be a businessman, to be a money maker, to create something out of nothing, to prove myself against the world, or all of that kind of thing, and to do it on my own. And it would also tick the box of putting a few more quid in the bank. Other than that, it's all good, honestly. I mean, let's go through all of the things that matter. I come home at night and I wake up in the morning in a place that I adore beyond words. I adore this cottage, literally beyond words. I adore the area, again, literally beyond words. What else counts? Daily life. I have my job, and my job is with my family who I love and who love me, and with the customers who I love and who love me. Um, so that is amazing. It gives me a bit of structure. Um, I couldn't wish for more than that. Um, Other day to day stuff, I eat like a king. God knows I eat like a king. What else? Friendships. I've got you guys. Um, I've got you guys, and bless you. You give me your time every day, and you give me your constant friendship. And I couldn't love you any more than I do, and that's an amazing thing. That's been. I've never made a secret of it over the last 3 years. That's been a game changer and a life changer for me. So that's an amazing thing. And this year I've had some little adventures. There will be more to come. Um, there's stuff that's happened this year that has just been amazing, unexpected, amazing, wonderful, just you know, totally joyful. And I couldn't really, with the exception of the couple of things I said, I couldn't wish to be in a better place, really. I mean, if I was rewriting the whole of history, then I might do it differently, but I wouldn't want to do that because I've had a great life. So I don't want to change anything that's happened. It's all been good. So to be where I am now, after the way that things have gone through, you know, the truth is, I'm a lucky bastard because, yeah, to, yeah, um, that's a long answer to a short question, isn't it? Oh, Mimi, you're more than welcome. Oh, thank you, Richard. Aren't the Airbnbs moving forward at all? Yes and no. The Sherpa's Lodge, which is the one that I'm personally invested in, no. Um, you know the situation. The builders are in Pakistan. They're there for a month. I don't think that they will ever come back anyway. They've got the money. The work either hasn't been done or has been done badly or possibly substandardly or possibly dangerously. God only knows. So, you know, who knows where that's going to go. The third one, the newest one, again, I'm not in control of that. That's down to Bish to press the button on it, sort out the finances, and hand it over to me. He's talking about that happening, coinciding that with the with Clay Cross opening the Airbnb stroke hotel. Now that is the one that will happen. That's the guarantee that I'm clinging on to. That's that's the one where Bish and I, Bish and I are like brothers. I would trust him with my life, and he trusts me with. I know stuff from Bish that nobody else in the world knows. I'm like his confidant, and there's um there's a total bond of trust there. So whatever else I've said, I know that I'm safe and hanging out. I know that Clay Cross is happening. It's all signed off. It's going to take a few months, but plans are all signed off, architects are all signed off, the builders are booked, blah, 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 blah. And so if everything else went tits up, then I would still have my full-time job managing that. And that would solve all of the problems. Everything else would be a bonus. And I know that's going to happen. That's the one thing that I am certain of. Oh, there's the new restaurant as well, of course. But yeah, it's frustrating that that's the one element of my life that hasn't moved forward as it should have this year. Other than that, everything is a dream come true. Honestly, every other part of my life that you can imagine, certainly this year has been literally a dream come true. And I'm just so happy. Oh, bless you. Boaty, you are the leader of a very successful and growing cult. Once they're back in Pakistan, you'll never see them again. Happened all the time to avoid creditors, etc. That's my suspicion. I genuinely don't think that that we will see them again. So yeah, it's going to be down to the landlord, isn't it? And he hasn't really got a choice. Well, I mean, his choice is, at some point it's going to become apparent that they're not going to finish off the job. And when he gets somebody else in, it'll become apparent that they didn't even do the job properly when they were doing it. So he's learned a lesson in life. As I understand it, he's learned a lesson that's going to cost him £52,000, because I think his options are to either, I think he's got three options: get a reputable company in to do the work again and pay them, and obviously get it done properly. Option number two, leave it as it is and have and own a building that's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, and that's bringing no income and is impossible to do anything with. Obviously, that's not a goer. Option three, sell the building. So option two isn't really an option. So really, he's got to start again from scratch, get a firm of builders in to renovate the place, undo all of the mistakes that they made up there, do it properly, and it'll probably cost him more than it would have the first time. Other than that, sell the building, because what's the point in having a depreciating asset on your books? You've either got to get the job done and get it done right, so that your asset becomes an earning asset, or sell it. There is always the option. We will buy it, and we will buy it for cash. The cash is waiting. But there we are. There we are. Okay, darlings, right. I think that's about it for tonight, isn't it? Thank you very much for your company. I've enjoyed it very much. Thank you for bearing with me this week while I've been poorly. Thank you for putting up with me blowing my nose and coughing and spluttering and not being able to breathe. Congratulations to our 10 newest channel members. And yeah, so where are we? It's Thursday, isn't it? So that means we've got the two late ones coming up. So Friday tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, they are later. I'm later at the restaurant, later getting home. It's through necessity. So yeah, so tomorrow and Saturday, 11:30, half an hour later. I'm sorry about that. But I'll be here if you would like to join me. So thank you again. Oh, and don't forget, Saturday. Never mind all of the 1st of March, other stuff. It's St. David's Day, the most important day of the year for any true Welshman. And I'm certainly one of those. So there we are. We've got that to look forward to. Okay. Thank you all so much. You all mean the world to me. You make such a difference. I think you all know that. Doesn't hurt to say it every now and then. So let me wish you all a safe and peaceful night and a decent day ahead. I hope there's some pleasure in it for you. And if there isn't, at least I hope it's manageable. The candle will be relit tomorrow night, 11:30. In the meantime, much love from me. Thank you all again so much. Can't wait to see you next time. So on that note, pachoo, and indeed, oh yes, bosh.